been a lot of work going on at the back of Twyn Yr Hydd in relation to the hidden garden that's there. It's probably the least known feature of Margam Park.
I was fortunate to visit the walled garden in 2015 with a group of friends of Margam Park and found the garden to be sadly neglected.
Joyce Hunt, a very talented volunteer, approached myself and the then Vice Chair Anne Beaumont with the proposal to restore the wonderful Twyn Yr Hydd garden. We got together with park management and discussed and ironed out the legalities, and then the project began.
After assessing the ground, Jeanette and I, the head gardener of Margam Park, drew up a programme of work drawing on people's skills. We started work in the autumn of 2015 with a team of very enthusiastic friends of Margam Park and pulling very carefully the invasive ivy revealing the stonework.
I've been coming here to Twyn Yr Hydd for about nearly 3 years now. When we came it was all overgrown and quite a mess. And it was just a daunting task in front of us, but exciting at the same time, just to see that we could renovate this garden and bring it back to something like it was when Ralph Hancock designed and built the garden.
The levelling of the ground was done in the summer, and I think that what made it harder for us.
The ground was very uneven and had to level it, so we had to pick up every stone and level the surface of the ground. And then we had a blank canvas to start with.
The soil wasn't soft, so we had to have little machines in to rotate machines to dig the mud up, or the earth I should say, and then we levelled it off. We levelled it off with a plank of wood. It was unbelievable, but you know what? We actually done it. And when we seen the end result, how proud we all were.
We cleared the pond twice because of the weather, and more recently because of the dry weather. Weeds had grown on the surface of the pond and I was worried about the biodiversity.
So in the circle, which is around the pond itself, all the flagstones there were loose and dangerous. We needed to reset them. We wanted to take them up and remove the compo from underneath. The Cadw were rather reluctant to let us do that. So we lifted the slabs and removed all the weeds and debris from underneath and used a special adhesive to put the slabs back without mixing any cement there, which could have contaminated the pond. We did a first major clean in 2019, bringing out weeds and stones, and we did a pond dip as well to identify what wildlife was in the pond. Besides the goldfish that was there, we found newts and various water boatmen, etc. In there. And we've done it recently as well. We've had to go back and clean it out again, and we found more goldfish this time than we did last time. So there must be some breeding going on in the pond.
Standing in the grounds of the garden, you will see that it provides a wonderful vista towards the west and the rest of the park. Occasionally you'll see wild deer running across that vista because it's a three-walled garden. And this was designed specifically by Ralph Hancock in order to give the best aspect of the garden.
You can see the Ralph Hancock signature features: the layered Cotswold stone roofs, the clairvoyants in the recess, and the Islamic-style patterns around the ornamental pond.
It can be cold. We've actually worked in the snow one time. It's only like drizzle, but we actually worked in the snow.
We worked throughout the seasons when we were able to.
We work weekly all through the seasons, in the rain, frost, all kinds of different weathers.
Hi, my name's Jo Brooks. I'm a new volunteer with the Friends of Margam Park. I'm down at Twyn Yr Hydd today in the beautiful garden helping the Friends.
I've been helping with the Twyn Yr Hydd project to relay the lawn and clear the shrubs, and I've been doing this with friends. I'm Joyce Hunt.
I'm a volunteer here at the Friends of Margam Park. Duties included jet washing, which I really enjoyed. To see something going from old to new again and seeing the huge improvement is a real bonus.
We originally started to restore the rose garden at Twyn Yr Hydd. I remember doing a lot of digging and picking up lots of stones. I wanted to see what the garden was like in its original state, behind all the brambles and the ivy, and to see this beautiful wall which Ralph Hancock designed.
From the two original photos we had of the walled garden, we realised that the fountain was missing from the pond. On a walk around the walled garden, I stumbled on a mound and I uncovered what I think was the base of the fountain. The fountain was originally located in the pond. Tata Steel has agreed to fund the fountain and Cadw will commission it.
COVID had a major effect on the project as it was nearly a year before we could come back into the garden. And when we returned at the beginning of this year, it was as if we were going back to square one in lots of areas. At least the groundwork had been done when we cleared the major brambles and overgrowth. But yes, there was a lot of work to be done just to get back to where we had finished off at the beginning of 2020.
Even though we worked on outside of the garden, our main concern was the wall garden itself. To see the lawn cut and sort of flat, and it just brings the garden together, it just brings the garden to how it used to be.
What we do now is the general maintenance.
We pick an area to work upon and clear a flower bed, or cut the edge of the lawns, trim the edge of the lawns around the wall garden and keeping the paths clear. And we also trim the box hedging, which is just outside the wall garden. So it's a regular feature of each week We have a planned work programme for each Tuesday, so we don't just wander around doing odd jobs. We have a planned programme of work. I've worked in all areas of the garden, not just in the wall garden, in the flower beds outside the wall garden, in the herb garden and the privet hedges and the apple trees as well. We've worked down there.
We can maintain Twyn Yr Hydd walled garden, but phase 1 will only be finished when the original rose bed design is cut and the fountain is installed.
I found the whole experience very enjoyable. I particularly like the social aspect of it. They're a great bunch of people to work with.
It was very therapeutic, physically and mentally. You can see by the photographs how beautiful it is. It gave us a sense of well-being also. Forget our problems and do some work in the garden, and I think it does everyone the world of good.
The sense of achievement that we all feel on completion of phase 1 is remarkable.
The enthusiasm and dedication of the volunteers has been tremendous, and Joyce has headed up this project perfectly. The amount of research she's done has been phenomenal, so much so that she's now getting requests for advice from all over the world. Her enthusiasm passed down to the rest of the team.
I was interested in the social history of the house, the occupations of the people who lived there and worked there, and the owners of the house. And I interviewed quite a few people, quite a few former staff and relatives of Sir David Evan Bevan.
It was very rewarding seeing the transformation. Now we get in the garden back to how it was originally when Ralph Hancock laid it all out.
We tried to work outside the garden and reveal the herringbone path by the raised border and clear brambles from all the paths and trim the hedges at the back of the pond.
Oh my gosh, it was absolutely amazing, because as I said, when I seen it in the beginning, I thought, oh no, this is not going to happen. But believe me, all the hard work that everyone's put in, it has happened.
It would be great to see all the gardens transformed back to their original design. That's major work, and it's not going to happen overnight.
During the project, we had quite a lot of visitors.
We had visits from Cadw and the Welsh Historic Garden Trust.
I think the dedication of the people that are actually the volunteers, you know, I can't see you getting it in a lot of places. The dedication that they put in, the hard work they put in too, you know, and there's more to come.
In restoring the garden, we restore
Sometimes frustrating when we couldn't continue the work in the garden. COVID obviously set us back quite a bit. But personally, I've thoroughly enjoyed all the time I've come to the garden and trying to make it a very attractive place for people to come and see in the future.
It gave us a sense of well-being also, especially, you know, we all have problems and it's lovely to come in, forget our problems and do some work in the garden.